Hello and welcome to another rather complicated video where it's completely impossible to show you everything that the pedal can do. We're gonna try a few things, but the rest is up to your imagination, which is really what the Tyler is about. Tyler, what does Tyler mean? It's a name. It's actually not. Teilen is sharing or dividing in German. I divide something into two equal pieces. Ich teile es in German. So ein Teiler would be someone who is dividing things. And when you spell that weird in English, then you have the name Tyler. It's clever in a stupid way. I love it. So we have the Tyler by KMA Audio Machines, and the Tyler existed before and I reviewed it, but now it's deluxe, or I think it's more like a Mark II. I can't imagine that they're still selling the old one when the new one's so much better. So people love the Tyler. It was a good selling pedal. It really fits into a very specific niche and solves a lot of problems that some bass players especially have. And so Enrico and his team, they listened to the people and they made it better. So here it is. Leslie, throw it on the screen. Thank you, Leslie. She's up there switching. So what do we have? We pump in the guitar right here, or whatever signal, the guitar, the bass, the synth maybe. And it comes out here. That's the easy way, in and out. Then it gets split into two different bands, a high band and a low band. Pretty much one side is low pass filtered, Jennifer low pass filtered. I would always make that joke and it's never funny. Meaning I'm cutting off all the highs. The other side is high pass filtered, meaning I'm cutting off all the lows. And they can even cross over. I can have the same frequencies twice if I wanted that. But I can also really make sure I have a low section and a high section, and I can treat them differently. Well, actually, they get mixed. They then... I'm low passing, it goes out here. I'm high passing, it also goes out here, which means if I'm actually doing this, I have the same frequencies twice. They might be louder, possible. I can also then blend in the original signal that was here, so the non-low passed or high passed signal. I can do that. And here I can say how loud the whole thing is. Here I can say how I mix it. More low pass, more high pass. I activate the whole thing, and then the filters are active. However, if I activate the low pass loop, it will go out something's not grounded there, but that's more my problem. I'm having some buzz when I do this. So, yeah, I'm in my audio interface, that's why. I have a loop. I can send to pedals and return to pedals, and that loop, of course, is only the low frequencies, which is way cool. So it will affect the lower part of the signal. I can bump that up. I can, with a boost, I can compress it. I can distort it. I can reverb it. I can do anything I want. Usually the low stuff, keep it rather clean and don't do much to it. And it goes out here once I activate that loop, which is illustrated by that light. That's the main on. Same thing for the high pass. So I could cut out a part of my signal, the higher signal, so from the mids to the highs, and send that to a reverb, a delay, a chorus, or whatever, but it doesn't affect my low signals, meaning I still have punch and clarity for my low stuff. Usually, especially when it comes to bass, when you're distorting the low end, you're chorusing the low end, you're doing all this stuff to the low end, it's not really that low endy anymore. As a bass, it's kind of a shitty bass. This can give loads of effect to your bass signal while still being super massive bass. So we're gonna try it on bass, we're gonna try it on guitar. What I'm doing right now is not using the output, meaning I can't actually use the level and I can't actually add my clean to it. I'm actually going out of the send, directly into my audio interface, into a simulated AMPETE, and going out of the send here into a bunch of pedals that you're gonna see in a minute, into a guitar amp. So I'm bi-amping. I'm sending the low part into a bass amp, I'm sending the high part into guitar pedals and into a guitar amp, which means there's nothing connected to the output, but the low is going into the audio interface, the high is going into all of these pedals. And then there's a couple of switches. Let's look at the switches. Should you have any phase problems, because you have two signals coming together, one might go through more pedals than the other, there might be phase issues. You have a low pass phase, a high pass phase, and you can play around with these. Which is the right setting? The right setting is the one that sounds right to you. Then there's a main phase for the main signal, which might be the clean. So switch it back and forth until it sounds right. And we have a cut. Why is that there? That was a little bit... I had to wrap my head around that. So let's say you're not using the loops. So the loops are off, okay? Right now, both loops are off. But when the pedal is activated, I have my clean blend, whatever, those filters are still in there. So how do I get one filter out? Well, I could fully roll that up, but the filter's still in there. Do this, and the filter's actually out. So it's a completely unaffected signal for that part, and again, a completely unaffected signal. So if you want to cut the filters out completely, and maybe just send it to the loops, you could even, you get the idea. Cut the filters out to keep your signal the way you want it. And we move on. Yes, I have a bass. It's a Sandberg, California, P something. Cool bass. Cool beans, cool bass. Right now, I can't mix it in the clean signal because I don't have anything connected to the output. My level doesn't work. I don't have anything connected to the output. My mix, I can't mix anything in this signal chain because I'm not using it. I'm just going in. I'm going directly out to a guitar amp and directly out to my audio interface into a simulated AMPETE. On the table, I have the plethora from TC, primarily for an octaver right here from the sub and up. And I have a chorus. And then I have the fuzz from Jackson Audio on here with an octave fuzz and also like a synthy kind of a thing for some stuff. That's going into all these pedals right here. The Bloom from Jackson Audio and some really cool effects from people. So let's see what my signal is. Nothing. But the pedal is on and I'm up. Why? Well, because I don't have any of the loops on and I need the loop on to send the signal to where it's going. So right here, that's my low loop. Right now, I've got everything in there. And I will bitch about it, Enrico. I told you I would. The original Tyler made that mistake in my opinion, and it's still doing it. It's counterintuitive for me. I'm an engineer. When I see a low pass, I want to see kind of a roll-offy curve like this, going up. Meaning the more I roll it up, the more I'm dialing it to the right, and the more I'm cutting off. Wait, that's actually correct. No, actually down. It's a low pass, it's not a high pass. I'm an idiot. I'm rolling it down. So technically this would be all the frequencies and I'm low passing to the left. It's not doing that. And trust me, the high pass is exactly the opposite. It's fucking with my brain. You just have to know about it. So all the frequencies, and then how much more low pass do you want? You're dialing in the low pass. Okay, that's a way to understand it. So it gets duller, right? Up to really only the very, very low stuff. So let's get some nice... That's all the nice low stuff I need. And this is actually going through the pedals that you see on the table into the Sky King, into an aux like a guitar signal would, but... Wait, off? Everything is off. Really not interfering with the low end. And that's actually one of the tricks for the raw blood bass sound. Go into a bass amp, go into a guitar amp, but actually split it up, and then you can give all those guitar-y sounds exactly the effects you want without affecting the low end, and you still have a massive low end. So what is the raw blood bass sound? Some octaver, some park, something that gives the notes a higher equivalent, and fuzzes, overdrives, anything to make it sound distorted. In videos, he's going into a bass amp and some Fender Twins. Is that just in a video? Who knows? But very likely he uses a device similar to that. So again, for me, that should be all the way up, and it's reversed. It's bugging me. So if I add an octave to that, maybe even chorus. Maybe even a weird synthy thing. But the cool thing is now I mix in my dry AMPETE. And there's all the massiveness from the bass. And we're gonna go no chorus, some fuzz. Actually octave off and the octave fuzz on from the Jackson Audio Fuzz. So the cool thing is with the high frequencies, you can add effects, time-based effects, without trashing the mix. If I send a bass, I'm sorry bass players, but don't do it! Into reverb or delay, that's not band material. But with a Tyler, you can. So I'm gonna kick in a Starlight here, and there's a tape delay. Because essentially, the only thing that's getting effect is... But if I turn the distortion off, some reverb, that's kind of cool because now that stuff is only on the high stuff. Or I'll put the octave in before. So you're gonna rightfully say, well, but what if I don't? What if I'm guitar? Whatever you're gonna rightfully say, what if I'm bass? You're gonna rightfully say, What if I'm a bass player and I only have a bass amp? Let's find out. So I have not tried this yet, to be honest. I have now wired all this guitar stuff into the high-pass filter side and a dirty robot from Digitech into the low-pass filter side. I do need an AMPETE hum eliminator because it's going into my audio interface and there is hum, so I usually need to decouple that. This thing might want to have a ground lift or I don't know, something like that. So right now, it's actually being used in and out, and I'm mixing in the loops. So let's see, right now. No level. So right now it's just bypass. But you can see that even though the loop isn't engaged, the filter is. It's adding to the signal. And that's my clean. So I'm gonna actually take both loops out. That clean signal is going to my AMPETE. So now I can add the low pass sound. If I turn the clean all the way down, we should only hear the low pass. You hear that? And I'm going to turn on my dirty robot. We're not going to hear it. Why? Because the loop isn't active. Now it is. But you can hear that bow, which is awesome, but all of a sudden the low end is gone. So I'm going to mix my original bass in. So now I actually might want to take that low pass filter out completely because all of a sudden I have overlapping frequencies. Let's look at the high side. I'm going to turn this down. So I want some effects on top of that. Wait, I'm an idiot. The loop isn't on. Now the loop is on. It's gonna take a while to wrap your head around that. So, I'm gonna keep that fuzz back in. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna keep reverb and delay and maybe chorus. Because that dirty robot is definitely gonna take care. The low end is gone, so let's get the clean signal in there. Mix now more to the high side. And all while that dirty robot wasn't filtered, because that's my clean signal. I want more of that. Now I'm going to kick both filters in. I'm going to kick both loops in. That dirty robot nastiness, but my bass is actually all the way there, all the way clean. I'm having fun. Let's do this with the guitar. So, I'm going into the Tone King Sky King as my guitar amp. Ibanez AZS. Let's not talk about it. Guitar. On the guitar side, again, I have the plethora, the fuzz, the C4, the bloom, and all the effects. On the high pass side, on the low pass side, I've got a That's What She Said Vespa fuzz from Beatronics, and of course I have my clean sound. Do I? So there's my clean sound because I just took both filters out. If you don't do that, that low pass filter is in there, or that high pass filter is in there. Mix is right now further towards it, so even though none of the loops are on, the filters are still active. So you could use it as an EQ if you really wanted to for low and high pass. So let's mix in the fuzz to that clean signal. Filters on. And no low passing is happening. Well, there's very little signal now going to the actual pedal. Now my clean signal's back. So you could have these beautiful, non-beautiful. But of course I would want a, volume knob for that. I kind of feel a mix, Enrico, I'm sorry to say that. I'm kind of feeling a mix isn't enough. I would want two volumes. I want a clean, a low, and a high mix knob so I can actually now mix the three different signals. I'm feeling the one mix, whether it's, or is it? Isn't it even a mix? Because isn't now the high end louder? Yeah, it's not a mix. It's a, well, it's how much low or the only low equal. Yeah, it's kind of, it's a balance. It's more of a balance than a mix. And now only high pass. But I kind of wish I had 3 individual knobs. Because I want that fuzz to be lower. So there's some but that's me, that's not the pedal. I want the Vespa to be lower, but right now the high pass stuff is higher. It's awesome because there's all these effects on there, while the nasty Vespa is underneath. Kick in a fuzz on the guitar side, or on the high pass side as well. So I'm Vespa in the low end, Jackson fuzzing and affecting the high end. Okay, possible, but yet again, I wish I could adjust the levels independently, because right now, I can dial up my clean signal, but I can't dial down the 2 loops. Oh, the phase drastically changed something. obviously, metal, pop, rock, blues, jazz, doesn't matter. It doesn't actually make a sound. It just guides different parts of your sound into different directions. So this was one of a bajillion different examples. Okay? Was it a great one? I don't know. Some of you might have liked that. Can I use it somewhere? Yeah. But the possibilities are endless, as they say in French. Let's make it big and bitch about it. So, what's good about the Tyler by KMA Audio Machines? What's good about it is that it's utterly unique, and what it does, it only can do. I don't know of any other pedal that can do that. Please school me if you do. It's well built. It thinks of all the possibilities. You can do bi-amping. You can do just use it as a filter. It's greatly improved with the addition of the flippy switches for the face, and definitely being able to take those out, which I just in the end didn't. I had them out. I think, especially for bass players, this is a solution to many problems. I know you guys want to have delay and all these cool effects, but realistically, they're gonna just muddy up your bass sound. Here, retain the bass sound and add the effects on top. Also, for, experimenting with ambient sounds and guitar stuff, totally happening. Right, Zayford? Now, killer. Me, as a sound designer, I would like a couple of things. I would like individual volume controls instead of just a mix knob. And I know it's already fully featured and has a lot of stuff. Hey, I can wish for stuff, okay? There's always things that people would want, and that's why there's a Deluxe, and maybe there's a Deluxe Plus for the stupid people like me that bitch about stuff. Right, Zayfrod? Right. Now, I just noticed while filming this video that the low-pass cut and high-pass cut is a great function to get the filter out of the equation. However, I didn't necessarily notice that that's what was happening. So I would like, I know, Enrico, I'm sorry, but I would like a light there. I would like an indicator that that's what's happening. Also, obviously, for me, cutting is down. When you cut something, when you cut a frequency, you go down. So it's doing this correctly. Down is where it's cut. However, the word cut is above it. So why wouldn't you flip the switch to where the word is? User interface in KMA. So if the word is underneath, you're flipping it to low pass cut. Right now you're flipping it away from it. User interface wise, that makes very little sense. So low pass cut, on, off, and technically put the low pass cut underneath, and then you're switching towards where you're cutting. You understand? However, I would love a little light on it. No, telling me that it's on or off or something, because I had a couple settings during this video where it was off when it wasn't supposed to be. Next, I bitched about it, and I will bitch about it again. You're dialing in how much low pass you have, however you're going against where the frequency is. Same on the high pass. It's counterintuitive to me. That's how the Tyler originally was. That's how it still is. That's how it always be. And I will always bitch about it. But that aside, I recorded a track with it yesterday. Massive, really cool bass sounds with synthy kind of overtones and delays. I could have never done this without this tool. It's a great tool to have, especially if you're a bass player and a more experimenty kind of a guitar player guy. Or maybe you want like super mega genty, heavy guitars with some delays on it. Maybe only have the delays in the high end and use this to split your signal, to tile it. This was a paid video, even though I bitched about stuff, because that's what's happening here. Thank you, KMA, for commissioning this video. I will put links below where you can buy it. You guys have been awesome. Leslie has been super awesome. And animals at the end.
I can't believe it's true, what you've done and what I do for my revenge, to get back at you. but the beast in me would follow through. I can't, you'll kill me. Believe it's true. It's all over. What you've done now and what I do. We should have talked for my revenge. Out to get back at you. But it's all over. But the beast in me now would follow through. What things to talk about? Well, what the fuck do you think in the chin of me? It's not a jackal in the heart and I made you bleed. I think it now I should have called it and now I'm free.